Okay, so we see that there's another sell-off going on in the charts. Today we have a pretty decent size, a pretty big red candle going downward. Price of Bitcoin has dropped about $800. So some news came out today, earlier this morning, that it was on CoinDesk and Cointelegraph. Japan's financial watchdog orders AML shakeup at like 6 crypto exchanges. So basically, they're looking at 6. It was also actually on CNBC as well. So 6 crypto exchanges they're looking at to see if there's any money laundering going on, if they're breaking any AML laws on these exchanges. After that, the market tumbled 8%, but it's still tumbling actually. And now we're just a hair below $6,000. And like I said in previous videos, I'm pretty bearish right now. Overall, long term, I'm bullish, right? And I think I've been pretty clear about that, but in the intermediate, I'm pretty bearish. So the question is, for retail investors, what do you do? Because here's the thing, I know a lot of people in my own network who have invested more money than they probably should have, and now they were overly optimistic, and I don't blame them. I get it. The hype cycle was really huge and very real at the time. And a lot of people thought that, hey man, we're going to hit $1 trillion plus in the market by spring. And spring is over. It's the first day of summer, actually, I think today. And we are nowhere near that. And as a matter of fact, even though right now, let me close this real quick. Let's look at coin market cap. Right now, as of the timing of this video, the market cap is 253 billion. And I think I said this in a previous video, but I think we're heading to like 175 billion. Again, this is just my guess. Nobody has a crystal ball. Mind you, I am a guy on YouTube just giving my opinion. This is not financial advice. Don't listen to anyone on YouTube in terms of taking financial advice. Make sure you do your own due diligence, do your own research before you make any financial decisions. And again, don't listen to anyone online. Just take the information for what it is and see if it makes sense for you, right? So, but this is what makes sense to me. I think we're going to continue seeing this slide. In my opinion, I think we're going to see Bitcoin drop to $5,000. No guarantee, but this is just what I feel. And I think we're probably going to be in a bearish market for the next at least 3 to 6 months. But I think eventually we will get a bull run. And like I said before, I think in order for the market to recover, we need to hear some better fundamentals, that something along the lines of a Bitcoin ETF, basically something that makes it easier for retail investors to be onboarded into the crypto space without having to deal with potential liabilities like accidentally transferring Bitcoin from your wallet on Coinbase to the wrong wallet, right? Missing a character in the wallet, and then that Bitcoin is lost in space for good. This has happened many, many times to thousands of crypto retail investors. And this has turned off a lot of people to cryptocurrencies, coupled with the volatility and, of course, the retracement ever since end of December. So in order for there to be more liquidity on the retail side, we're going to need better on-ramps for retail investors to be onboarded into the crypto market. That's just my opinion. So the question is, you as a retail investor, especially a lot of you guys who've invested too much, I don't give out investment advice. I can't legally, but if I was to tell somebody, if I was to tell like my brother, I'd say, hey man, just only invest what you're willing to lose, right? So that would be my investment advice for anyone if I was to give some, but this is not my advice for you. But I would only invest what I'm willing to lose, right? So because it's such a new market, there's not enough liquidity, even though the volume says 16 billion, it's really not much. It's not enough at all. So whales can totally impact this market. A few whales can just sell off a ton of Bitcoin on an exchange and just totally just manipulate the price, which is what is happening right now, in my opinion. So with that being said, what do you do as a retail investor? So here's what I would do personally. Here's actually what I've been doing. The first thing I would do is I would just start looking at how you can develop skill sets in this space to leverage this space, because I believe we're still in a hype cycle. I believe this conversation is not going away, and I believe the conversation is only going to grow with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So I would just start figuring out what is it that interests you, and how does that align with skill sets that you can cultivate where you can add value to the ecosystem and make some money for yourself so you can control the narrative for your life and not be handcuffed to what the market's doing. Because again, I know most people invested too much, more than they can afford to lose. So one thing could be is learn how to day trade. Now for me personally, I'm not interested in day trading. Or it doesn't even necessarily need to be day trading. It could be swing trading where you're in a trade for months. I'm not a patient guy, so I know I won't do well with swing trading, even though I've done okay, but I know going forward, I'm a very impatient guy, which kind of works when it comes to building a business, because anyone who's too patient is, in my opinion, susceptible to failing. Because you're going to fail, you want to fail fast. So you could either get out or figure out where the bottlenecks are and work on that bottleneck in whatever business model you're in. So I'm all about failing fast. Unfortunately, in this market, you have to have patience. So I'm better off just holding and not even looking at the market. Although I'm going to look at the markets, I want to provide you guys content, but you get what I'm saying as an investor. I'm looking at charts all day. But other things you can do is, look, man, if you're somebody that's interested in coding, probably most of you are not, but let's throw this out there anyways. As these platforms like EOS, Ethereum are continuing to scale, continuing to be built out, we don't even know if they're going to survive, but some of these protocols will survive that are smart contract-based protocols. There's going to be a demand, if not already, for smart contract engineers, right? So maybe you can go out and learn how to code. Go to a coding school if that's something that interests you, and learn how to code, and eventually you could possibly be a smart contract blockchain engineer. I don't know. Again, in me speaking on this, I'm not the guy qualified to speak on this stuff. So I'm just throwing out ideas. Doesn't necessarily mean you should follow it, but at least you could start pondering on it and see if that's something that makes sense for you. Then you could start talking to some real developers who can point you in a better direction than I could, because I'm not a developer. But that's just a thought that you can run with, right? Another is, like I said, you can learn how to trade so you can become a better trader and minimize your risk as much as possible. Again, the best chartists, the best guys at trading, the best at technical analysis are probably at best right 50% of the time, maybe 60% of the time. They're still wrong 40% of the time. So there's really no certainty in that space, but at least you can give yourself a higher probability at minimizing your losses and being profitable in this market, even in a downtrend, right? Which is what we're in right now. One thing I always tell people is you got to network, because your network will determine your net worth. I know it's cliche, you've heard that many times, but it's very true. So if you live in a major metropolitan area, especially San Francisco Bay Area, which is where I live, LA, Vegas has got quite a few crypto meetups from what I've been hearing. New York, Miami, Chicago. Try to get to as many meetups as you can and meet people. See who you can meet. You don't know where these relationships can lead you towards, but you may meet some people who have an opportunity, whatever that opportunity is, maybe working with another company, and you can maybe possibly land a job there if you're not looking to build a business. I don't know. But you can work in somehow, some way, in some capacity in this space if you're not working a job right now. If you have a full-time job right now, then you're good, depending on how much you get paid, of course. But if you're looking to make more money in this space, I would start networking. Now, if you live in a flyover state where there's no blockchain or crypto meetups, if you live in a country, let's say in the European Union or Southeast Asia, where there's no meetups, then what I recommend you do is start getting in a lot of these Telegram chats. Now, I'm not saying it's going to make you money right away. It's not. A lot of it may be time wasting, don't get me wrong. But if you get in there with the sole purpose just to meet the right people, eventually you will stumble upon better chat rooms that are more private based on who you meet. And you'll start to get into the right conversations. And I believe you just got to get in there and network. Even on these Facebook forums, I would get in there and network and start finding who are the people that know what they're talking about, and start finding who are the people that don't know what they're talking about, and stay away from the ones that don't know what they're talking about, because you don't want to be influenced by bad information and be misinformed. So you're going to have to dig through some dirt to find some few gold nuggets, meaning people who know what they're talking about, who are connected in the space, and see in some form or fashion how you can add value. Maybe start a meetup in your own town, and see if you can get people to come to a meetup and start a conversation, see where it heads, see where it leads to, see what. If you could develop a decent-sized network, you'll start meeting people through the people you know, and you just never know who you're going to meet. So maybe I'd start developing a network. I'd start following the right blogs that give right information. Start following the right guys on YouTube or right girls on YouTube that are giving real analysis and real information. Again, I like Carter Thomas with Coin Mastery. I like Tone Vase and his TA, even though his videos are too damn long and I'm not going to sit there for an hour and watch a YouTube video. I got a lot of things going on in my day, but if you have time at night, I would spend some time following a couple of these guys. Data Dash gives some really good technical analysis and just insight on the industry, box mining as well. These are guys I really like because they're in the conversation. Some of these guys are in Southeast Asia where a lot of the events and conversations going on. If you live in Hong Kong, if you live in Bangkok or Singapore, there's a ton of meetups there, guys. We have friends that live in these areas, and you know, we hear things all the time that there's a lot of big events going on. I mean, this broadcast is all over the internet, of course, as well. But I would definitely attend these events as much as you can. Some of these events are like super expensive. You don't need to go to that event. Maybe you find out there's a networking party, after party, and go to that. And just try to meet people as much as you can. You have no idea who you're going to meet. You have no idea what opportunities will come from that relationship based on who those people know. So try to develop your own network in the crypto space, not just of a bunch of speculators, but people who really know what's going on. And just be careful who you're listening to, because you don't want to be influenced by the people who are overly optimistic, who have no fucking analysis that they can offer, and just throw out some fucking price predictions without any real world analysis or real TA, not bullshit hyped TA, that can show a higher probability of that actual price prediction. My opinion is to stay away from the ones who can't offer real analysis, who just guessing shit all the time. What else can I tell you? Off the top of my head, that's what I can think of. But the most important thing is look into space, see what do people need, right? Where's there a gap in the space? Maybe it's content. Maybe people need to see your journey so they can learn from your mistakes. I'm not saying go share your portfolio, by any means, don't do that. But you can talk about, without having to share what you're investing in, but you can kind of talk about what you're learning and document it on YouTube. I don't know. Build an audience maybe, right? So the point is that you got to start thinking about things that you can do in this space where you can basically control your own narrative for your own financial future. I think there's a lot of opportunity to make good money in this space. I might give you an example. A buddy of mine, I just got off the phone with him. Him and another friend of mine, they're in the East Coast, in the Boston area, and they've networked with some people who have a lot of capital. I mean, this is a rare scenario. It's not going to happen with everyone, but just to kind of give you an idea of how networking eventually pays off. And basically, long story short, a buddy of mine was appointed the CEO because he knows how to run he's familiar with the beverage and energy drink space, and they're launching some type of Bitcoin energy. They already did launch a Bitcoin energy product, Bitcoin energy drink. I think that's fucking cool, man. I think that's really smart. Now, whether it goes somewhere or not, who knows, but at least they're going to go through a learning curve. They're going to learn some stuff. So even if this project fails, which I don't think it will, these guys are pretty savvy. But even if the project fails, they learned something. They went through a learning curve. They're going to develop a larger network, and that'll probably lead to other opportunities you just never know. That's a unique situation. Most of you guys probably don't have that network just yet, nor the capital, nor the access to capital to be able to launch something like that. So that's kind of unique and kind of an outlier in terms of what I'm talking about. But the point is, it all started with these guys is networking, right? So what I'm saying is try to build a network. If you can't get to events, try to network online. Gary Vaynerchuk talks about this in the beginning when he was launching his wine library. He was just going in forums and answering people's questions and starting to build an audience that way. It was all guerrilla marketing, but he eventually built an audience, and he was giving free content on YouTube, and eventually the guy is worth like over $100 million, and now he has like a $50 million plus marketing company called VaynerMedia, right? So you just, again, that's an outlier, and I'm not saying it's going to happen to you, but what I'm saying is, like, if you have some type of vision for your future, you got to start controlling the narrative, and these are some ideas for you to implement right away to start going in the direction of controlling the narrative for your life, because you don't want to sit here and just wait for the market to recover so you can be financially well, because that is a death trap. To me, that's a booby trap, and you don't want to get anywhere near that. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm just a guy on YouTube. I got to put up my disclaimer. Do your own research on everything that I talk about, let alone that everything any YouTuber talks about. Don't just listen to people online and make a financial decision based on what people are sharing online. Don't take anything as financial advice. But what I would say is what I'm talking about in this video is take it as business advice. Take it as life advice, that you need to control the narrative for your life, and you can't be so emotionally tied to a market because you invested way more than you should have in this market. Other than that, I hope you guys are doing well. Click the like button below this video. Leave a comment below. Let me know where you're at right now, what you're running into emotionally, that is, with this market being down. Let me know your thoughts on everything that I talked about. I'd love to engage with you. If you have any questions, please post a question below in the comment section. I'll try to answer it as best as I can. If you have any opinions as well, please post it below, and I'd love to engage with you so we can start a conversation. Click the like button so other people can find this video and they can, join in on the conversation. Leave a comment below. If you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, just make sure you click the subscribe button below. Click the bell button next to the subscribe button so anytime we upload a new video or new content, you'll be notified right away. Other than that, guys, again, control the narrative in your life. Just make sure that you just go out there and learn as much as you can so you can become more valuable in the marketplace and you can start contributing back to the world. Because at the end of the day, my friend said it best the other day, at the end of the day, I want to leave this life not being a consumer of the world, but being a giver back to the world. And I would start adopting that mindset. Other than that, I hope you guys are doing well and have a great day.